Well, welcome back. Here we are at Divino Rod, and I'm Robert. Well, what I'm trying to tackle today is to get this door fitted. So the process, I've took this 29 door and took the jambs off of it, took the interior off of it because I'm not going to be able to use the interior. So right now, the process, before I get started where I clean it up with muriatic acid to get rid of all this rust, I'm going to be doing a little bit, I'll go ahead and clean these pieces up first. And then I've got to, plug weld these holes, and you can see this jam here where the door latch mechanisms were going through. I'll be plug welding all of that. I've started on my hinges. Got the material cut out. I'll do, I gotta clean these guys up. I'll be soaking them in the muriatic acid. So, as you can see, this is all the shape of the wine barrel stave right here, and you can get a good look at how close it is. Here, my rocker is got to be modified here, so I can cut this out here and drift this in so it marches or matches up with this contour here. And then this really works out well. This was a sedan, so I had to cut that off because the pillar went up this way, so I had to modify that, which I'll end up filling that in. And then this is a 3031 Ford, which has this detail here on the belt line. And so what I'll end up doing is following this up to where this 2829 Ford belt line will match up there, and I'm going to do some detail work on this to kind of match this flow here, but just be a little short piece. But it matches up really well, with this detail here, the way it molds in there. So it's pretty spot on. So in that way, it's pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll clean up these hinges, and then let me show you another little, this piece here I picked up recently. I've always wanted to have a driveline hoop, and so I've gone through a lot of different ideas, and I've even thought at one point I would use some strap material out of off of a safety harness, and so I had intentions of running a safety hoop with that safety harness strap material. But recently, I was working on a job where we were redoing a water softener setup for a big facility, so it's a lot different than your homeowner type. They had several filters in it, and these straps held the filters in. They have like a 5/16 18, I guess, thread on a brass bushing. So what's really cool is it's going to work really, really well. And that's kind of the really cool thing, is being able to find stuff that after you have something already built, that you can make work without very little modification. I mean, this span from here and here is the same span as my tunnel. It's just works out really cool. And if you've watched any of my videos over time, that's what this whole car was all about, was as many gadgets as I could put together that aren't car parts and turn them into car parts. So if you want to see that, you go back and look at some of my previous videos where, you know, I take a single groove pulley and I turn it into a steering wheel. I'm using a console that came off of an old missile program. So a lot of the stuff is it's just a Neapolitan rat rod, you know, there's things from all over the place. So, all right, well, let me get under here. I'll move this door, I'll get under here and I'll show you how I want to use this for a safety hoop. Well, you can see the distance between the tunnel here. And as I put this without changing anything here, so what I'll end up doing is tapping and threading and putting my 5/16 bolt in there. And this height here is higher than the lowest point on my ladder bar. If I can get that in the shot. Yeah, like I was pointing out, the lowest point of that ladder bar there. So that's a plus. Let's move down here again. Get that tunnel in the shot. So the forward side of the tunnel, naturally, it's lower in the front end. So what I'm going to end up doing here, which I don't know if you guys got a good look at this before, but this is a piece of stainless steel, piece of brass bushing there, or so what I'll end up doing here is taking it and spreading it and putting it into this situation right here, which will allow me to put a through bolt through the framework of the tunnel. Okay, that's a little bit of sample of putting in it muriatic acid compared to what it looks across there. That was about 10 minutes. Keeps you from having to do a lot of grinding, and it'll get inside those pits and clean it right out of there. Just a process. And there's some flat bar that had mill scale on it. That was about 10 minutes setting in the muriatic acid. Cleans it right up. Highly toxic, so you need to use a respirator and gloves, because it will burn you and it will overpower your lungs big time. All right. Well, thanks for watching this week, fellas. And appreciate you. And we'll catch you on the next one.